Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Mad Max Fury Road. Starring Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult, Zoe Kravitz, Hugh Keys-Byrne, directed by George Miller. Now, I have seen this movie in theaters, and I'm remembering this was pretty good, but will it be very good? Let's see. And it won 6 Oscars. Let's just get straight into this. We open with a narration by Max Rokitansky, this time played by Tom Hardy, about how his family was killed and stepping on a lizard and eating it, which is disgusting, but I'll go with it. He gets in this car and drives off until some bad guys called the War Boys, who are the army of Immortan Joe, played by Hugh Keys-Byrne in a different role from the first movie, as Max is taken by Joe's Citadel, as he's a universal blood donor and is imprisoned and used as a blood bag for a sick war boy named Nux, played by Nicholas Hoult. And I'm liking this thus far, as the cinematography is tremendous in this movie, as it unfortunately lost the Oscar for that category for another movie in which I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head. Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, Imperator Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, takes a trip to take some of oil in her truck, and this is the character we're getting the prequel to in the next movie, as she will be portrayed by Anya Taylor-Joy next time. And the visual effects are amazing as in this, as well as it unfortunately also lost the Oscar to another movie of that year. And the makeup on Immortan Joe as well as Furiosa's head is amazing, and it won the Oscar for Best Makeup for that year, as it looked like Furiosa went through hell, while Immortan Joe looks like a raper. And I credit the costume designer, who happens to be Jenny Bevan, or Bevan? I don't know if I'm saying that right, please forgive me, as this is seriously some great work on the makeup, and I relate with more with Furiosa than Max in this movie. Despite this title, part of the title of this movie is called Mad Max, and fun fact, Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron do not like each other, because Charlize Theron was always there on set on time, whereas Tom Hardy was always late on set. And good luck getting another Mad Max movie with these two actors, I'll say that much. And there's other behind the scenes drama that I don't wish to discuss in this show, because this is so far an impressive looking movie. Furiosa takes a different direction to escape Immortan Joe, and Immortan Joe realizes his 5 wives women like Toast the Knowing, played by Zoe Kravitz, the splendid Angorad, played by Rosie Huntington-Whiteley from Transformers 3, Capable, played by Riley Keough, the Dag, played by Abby Lee, and Cheeto the Fragile, played by Courtney Eaton, are traveling with Furiosa to the Green Place, and he's pissed at this point, and by he I mean Immortan Joe, and they take a detour while Nux gets on the wheel and to go after Furiosa as well as the other war boys, as Max rides in front of the car to keep Nux alive with blood as they go towards a desert storm, and with some great sound mixing as well as sound editing, which did win the Oscar for those two things, and the production design is amazing in this movie in my opinion. Nux gets in the desert storm to go after Furiosa while Max is hanging in the background, until eventually he breaks into the back of the car while Nux prepares to die leaking in his car, but instead Furiosa hits his car and she with the wives get away until Max wakes up and the storm is gone and tries to shoot the chain and off, but he's been stuck on since he got captured, and he's still attached to an unconscious Nux. And Max gets closer to Furiosa and the wives to ask for some water and her truck, as well as a way to get off the chains. And Max and Furiosa have a fight while the wives try to get to Max off of Furiosa. And Nux wakes up and helps Max out and breaks him free, and Max knocks out Nux, kind of amusing, and briefly steals Furiosa's truck until it stops, and Furiosa and the wives come back and tell him there's a sequence to start the car. And I enjoy being around these characters, as they're the best characters in my opinion. Max reluctantly takes Furiosa and the wives to accompany him in the truck, while Nux rejoins the War Boys, and there's more of the War Boys coming for Max, Furiosa and the wives while Max struggles getting that mask in front of his face off, which did remind me of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, but he'll eventually get it off his face, and Nux comes underneath Furiosa's truck and attacks Furiosa, while the red-headed wife, Capable, wants to save Nux, but they throw him off the truck, and Furiosa had to stop the truck to tell the war boys no wives are with her, while she asks for Max's name, but he doesn't answer yet until he trusts her much later in the film. And both Max and Furiosa hide the wives, and at some point Furiosa yells "fool" to call. That's what he tells Max. She calls Max to tell Max to start driving, while Splendid is pregnant with a baby, and she feels her stomach while in the middle of danger, which was realistic, but it scared the shit out of me. And the war boys go again with another chase with Furiosa and Nux coming with them to capture them, as he has Max's boot, and the chase sequences are a hell of a lot of fun from start to finish. And that's because I care about these characters. Honestly, I really do. Splendid takes a chain off the truck, and Splendid almost dies until she slips and falls to her death on top of Immortan Joe's tires. And Immortan Joe is upset over the death of Splendid, while Max, Furiosa, and the rest of the wives keep going until they stop because the engine is fried, and Cheeto runs away as one of the war boys comes to them until Furiosa shoots the war boy dead, and they keep driving until they drank something, and Capable finds Nux in a car that they're carrying with them as Nux decides to go with the wives, as well as Max and Furiosa, and I was heartbroken by Splendid's death, but the writing in this movie is strong, while this is tightly paced at the 2-hour runtime, and we'll see if the next movie does the 2.5-hour runtime even better. As director George Miller said, there's not too much dialogue scenes throughout that movie, but I'll get there when I get there. They get followed while they blow up the war boys' trucks, along with Immortan Joe, while he gets a baby boy out of Splendid's stomach, which was graphic for damn sure, as it suffocates and it dies, and Immortan Joe is very upset now he doesn't have a baby boy anymore. And this scene is powerfully acted by Hugh Keys-Byrne. Meanwhile, the truck is stuck on mud as Max tries to pull it out in the mud, and Nux wants to pull the truck from the tree which is a clever idea. They pull the truck out of the mud, and Max gets back on while the war boys go after them, and once again the engine is fried as they pour water in it, while Nux takes it towards him to stop, while Max runs off to retaliate, and he comes back with a wheel for the truck, and they connect it to the truck and head towards the green place. And as they get there, Furiosa says she's come back, and some people living in the green place come to Furiosa, Max, and the wives of the people living in the green place say to Furiosa, it's all gone, and she is upset as she looks up to the sky and screams to the heavens, but done much better than any other fucking action movie about revenge plots, in which Charlize Theron is screaming at the heavens. Or while that happens, that was a great shot, as it shows she's devastated by losing her home, and it does feel tragic to lose her home, and that, and I connected with her in her pain, and the score was magnificent in this scene as well. It gets dark, and the wives are shown the stars as those are also great shots, and Furiosa tells the wives, including the other green people, they have to look for a new home, while Max decides to go his own way, As daytime comes, he has an idea to get them all home where they get captured at, and decide to kill Immortan Joe, and decide to do what Max does. And they do what Max does, which works well to get to the climax of this movie. The war boys, as well as Immortan Joe, see Max, Furiosa, the wives, and the green people are going back to the Citadel to take their home back, and they're on the way back, and the war boys go after our heroes while they stole Max's car, as he points out, that's mine, and Nux gets and Max gets water in the engine, and the War Boys get attacked by one of the green people and try to kill Immortan Joe, as they kill a lot of the War Boys, and the War Boys make a hole in the truck, and one of the War Boys takes toast at one point, as some of the green people do die, and some get, and Max gets an arrow on his hand and part of his head, which, ooh, that's gotta be painful, and wakes up and continues to fight as he almost falls, but Furiosa grabs him, and they smash one of the War Boys as Nux puts him on a truck and gets to his car, and Furiosa crashes one of the cars while Furiosa is hurt really bad, as Max goes back and forth against the War Boy, and he gets out of his car and sacrifices it to get to the truck as Immortan Joe corners them, and Nux drives the car or the truck, while Furiosa goes to the car of Immortan Joe and saves Toast's life, while Cheeto almost gets taken by one of the War Boys, and Furiosa kills the bastard, while she gets closer to Immortan Joe and says, "Remember me," and rips Immortan Joe's mouth off, and Furiosa is wounded while the wives and the other green people leave Nux to die, as he does die by the engine of Furiosa's truck, and crashes it, and the War Boys are no longer following them, as Max tells a wounded Furiosa his name is Max, while he pokes a hole in her and to breathe as he gives her blood to survive, and they get to the Citadel, and the people see Immortan Joe is dead, and now Furiosa, as well as the wives and the green people, have a home, and Max walks away, and the climax was spectacular, as was this whole movie from start to finish. But we'll see if it compares better than the second film. Let's get to the rating. Now it's time for my rating. I'll give this movie a 9.4 out of 10. This may be the best Mad Max film yet to date, as it is tight with the editing, as there's no point when people get bored with it from start to finish. And we'll see if the prequel does it justice next time, as I like the characters, as Furiosa is the best character in this whole movie, as she's a badass, and no wonder we're getting a prequel about her next time, and we'll see if the 2.5-hour runtime is as tight as the 2-hour runtime of this movie. It won 6 Oscars for a damn good reason, and deservedly so, while the cinematography is spectacular, and the behind the scenes of what makes this movie great is magnificent, except for the Tom Hardy-Charlize Theron relationship, but anyways, as this is the best looking Mad Max film in my opinion. The chase sequences were a hell of a lot of fun, as was this entire movie, and I really loved the hell out of this movie for the reasons I brought up during this rating, as this is a strong recommendation. And forget Star Wars: The Force Awakens, as that was a close second of that year, and forget Pitch Perfect 2, which opened the same weekend as this movie, and forget its other competitor, Avengers: Age of Ultron, as this is the best movie of 2015 in my opinion, as Avengers 2 and Pitch Perfect 2, not the best examples in my opinion, but at the end of the day, this is a gorgeous looking film. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I'm excited for it after this movie, and until then, oh, what a day. What a lovely day.